Hello and welcome everybody to Summer League 2025. My name is Little Herdez. I am joined in the booth today by Bob, aka Bob the Sniper. Hello, Bob.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Exciting matchup we have today. We have an Adam versus Danimalforlife. It's going to be pretty exciting here.
Yeah, it's always great to see matchups for people I don't see race all the time. Adam, I don't know if I've ever watched, and Danimal, I've mainly played against him, and it's always fun to see.
Yes, always fun and interesting to see. So it's great to see our first live match of League. We've had a couple off stream during out the week, but we finally are able to get a first match. With our racers ready, we are sending them off. And Bob, tell us a little bit about the settings for this league. What are we looking at today? What's the goal to get in these league settings?
So our goal for the league is to complete 12 out of the 15 objectives we have listed on the tracker. And then also at the end, we will do final flights. And we start with the Promise Charm and all 3 proofs. So as soon as you're done with that 12th objective, you can just hop right in the computer and make your way to the end.
Yes, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they route the objectives based upon what they get from the start. So you have your traditional setup, getting all your abilities equipped, getting all your items moved out. While they're doing this, there is no items in the GOA, so we don't have to worry about them picking up something random in the GOA. Let's take a look at the objectives here. So what do we have in the first row? We have a Bailey fight, right? Which is Hollow Bastion 1. We have OC, one with 2 objectives. We have Cerberus and Hydra. That is actually 3, because there's OC2, which is Orange Statue, right? Orange Statue's check right before Hades. And yeah, that is Orange Statue. That's the Nobody. I always get that mixed up with the Assassin icon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Agrabah 1 with Twin Lords. Second row, we have OC. We have Oogie. Not OC. Halloween Town, Oogie. And then we have Ground Shaker in Pride Lands. We have 2 objectives in SP, which is Hostile Program End of SP1, and SP2, which is MCP. Our very favorite Starry Hill. And then we have 2 data fights, one being Zaldin and the other one being Data Roxas. Super Boss of Sephi, and then Valor 5 and Wisdom 3. So kind of all over the board with these objectives.
Yeah, there's, other than OC, they're pretty well spread out. You have the 2 back-to-back in SP, but you need an extra unlock to get to MCP. Another thing to note is first visit locking is on in these settings, and they start with 4 visit locks. So this time they started with Proud Fang, Battlefields of War, a Way to the Dawn, and a Royal Summons. So at this point, they already have access to 2 of those OC objectives, and they both chose to go to Pride Lands first, as most people would.
Yeah, get the quick levels out of the way, get the RNG on your manip, because typically if you go 2 fights or 2 enemy encounters without jumping to Pride Lands, you're not going to get that quick and easy reaction command that you like. So it's nice that they do start off with it, so they don't have to worry about it later. It's going to be pretty interesting to see
sketches.
Nominated sketches and a magnet. So not bad so far with it. STT, that you only have 1 objective, which is Data Roxas. So I don't know when they decide to push that. It's going to depend on what else is there as well too.
Yeah, it'll absolutely depend on the hints.
Yeah.
And the way the hints work in this, it is progression spoiler hints. However, the spoiler hints do not reveal everything. They reveal world unlocks, they reveal drive forms, and they reveal torn pages.
So, Trinity Limit, look at that. See, in Pride Lands, you kind of get a nice set of tools. You got your slide dash, you got Trinity Limit, you can make it through STT really fast if you wish to do so. So we'll see where they go. I think traditionally we're just going to see shotguns until they get enough visit unlocks. Usually with these type of settings, you kind of get a handful of visit unlocks from the beginning just by doing your shotguns. So we'll see if anybody decides to forego that and just go bolting into a world a little bit deeper, especially with having OC1 already and you have, 2 objectives there? You kind of want to start getting your objectives out of the way.
Yeah, at the same time, it is still good to get your shotguns done because you never know what tool is just sitting 3 feet into a world. You can just grab it and it'll help you speed up something.
Yeah. speaking of OC, Adam's heading into OC, skipped over to the world that never was. So we'll see if Danimal does the same thing, follows suit, or decides to see what's in the 4 of the world that never was.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see where the routes diverge with the 4 random first visits, because they can choose to go deeper or not deeper in certain things. And
it's also it's very hard to decide, especially with these worlds that they got from the start. Movement, you kind of don't have fast movement, so it's just like, which one are you just gonna go fly around in with Glide 1? Because Glide 1, as you could see on Adam's side, feels really, really slow in OC.
Yes. Yeah, OC especially, going down, it just feels like a slog, but there are a good amount of checks, and you never know, there could be a glide here too. And that's another reason why it's good to go Pride Lands first, is because of the potential for movement being there, and whatever movement you have isn't going to speed up Pride Lands because you're a lion, and you always move the same speed as a lion.
Yeah. That's always nice. Like, the lion movement is, like, you take it for granted when you're actually needing to walk around Sora or quick run, because you're just like, Pride Lands, you move so fast. You just hold that square or left face button, and you just zoom everywhere. You also Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
The good old Tokyo Drift. So it looks like they're swapping out places. I didn't see anything in the world that never was shotguns. Just an aerial finish, and I think that was about it.
Yeah, not much to mention. Several junk chests. Another good thing to note is just a little minor thing. However, they won't be using it in this. If you're missing a way to the dawn, you can go through the Roxas door to immediately go back to the start of the room, and that helps, especially if you have Glide 1, but they did start with one, so it won't be a factor here.
Yeah, you kind of just don't want to end up in Roxas's room and decide that, hey, I gotta go, fight this guy already.
Yep.
So,
well, you start with a quick run, so it's not the worst thing, and it is 2 prog points.
Yeah, if you're looking for quick prog points, you kind of want to think about, like, hey, which angle am I going to go after I do all my shotguns, and you need, like, a second to think. It's a good place to go. Quick prog points, like I said, you get it out of the way. You get a couple more checks afterwards, so it's not bad. I have seen that a couple in the matches that have been played already, that quick running Roxas has been a popular thing. Because the name of the game is you don't want to go into worlds that you're spending time in that don't have objectives, so getting fast hints is always very helpful.
Right. The faster you can get prog points, the faster you'll know where you need to go to get the unlocks that you need for your objectives, and it helps you not waste time.
So we're seeing DC Courtyard now. They picked up a very nice tool of Reflect, so we're not going Reflectless this time.
Yes, we love not going Reflectless. Though it is definitely fun to watch, to see how people can make their way through certain fights when they don't have one.
Yeah, and another very interesting thing is, now that we're bringing that up, how they go about the fights. With a recent generator update and a new setting that's in there, typically you get 2 pop-ups, 2 stat-ups for every level that you do. In this settings, up to 20, you only get 1. So stats really don't come to you until you kind of break that point of level 20. So early game, getting magic very early is really, really nice to get, because then you can safely go through worlds a little bit easier.
Absolutely. And also getting your magic up makes it... getting your magic up early makes it so that when you do get to the spots where you can level grind, you can get more levels out of it. Having a higher magic stack going in, being able to kill things faster, such as screens, or if you have early access to TT3.
Yes, so we're already seeing this divergence. We've seen Dano push that OC1 for those 2 objectives, and we see Adam taking his Trinity limit that he found and heading straight into STT. Both actually really good plays because they both lead to an objective. It's just, you kind of have to choose where you're going. You already did Pride Lands. You already did DC. Do you really want to do the world that never was? Probably not. So you kind of had to pick, am I doing OC low tool and trying to get through Hades Escape, as we're going to see Danimal do? Or do we take the nice, easy, 5 to 10 minute cruise in STT?
Right, especially with Trinity Limit, and it makes STT much more of a viable choice. If they hadn't gotten Trinity Limit, you'd lean probably more toward OC, because speeding up STT is pretty huge. But they're both very valid plays. They're great ways to get deeper into a seed.
Yeah, so we'll see which one gives us more, because one of these is going to give us the progression. We're just going to see which one gives us the further progression that we're looking for, because you did start with OC1, so technically speaking, that's the way the seed kind of wants you to go, because you start with it and you have access to that world. But with you having access to Pride Lands and getting an STT, that's also another viable step in the logic to kind of unlock the rest of your seed. So we'll see which one, quote unquote, pays out a little bit more than the other.
Right, because even if one of them doesn't have what you're looking for to unlock more worlds, they're both making their way toward objectives that they have to do eventually.
Yeah. Oh, they started with Duck Flare? I did not see that.
I did not see that either.
So Danimal is making a very good trek through Hades Escape. Really didn't have too much of an issue. That Reflect coming in handy, the Magnet, and especially the Duck Flare at the end, made it through pretty cleanly. So very nice play there. While we're heading to Twilight Thorn. So I imagine they're probably going to take it easy on Twilight Thorn, because you don't have magic to kind of boost your way through doing a one cycle.
Right. Yeah, it's probably safer to just get a little bit of damage at the start, get Twilight Thorn to right before the health gate, and then once it goes into its attacks, you take it out.
Yeah, with Reflect is actually pretty good as well too. Oh, forgot to mention Danimal's wonderful mods. He made this Pluto instead of Cerberus, so we have a 3-headed Pluto.
Yeah, we'll see this. Unfortunate. We'll see this all throughout Danimal's run today. As you can see, Mario here to save the day. Most of these mods Danimal made himself, and yeah, we're gonna have some interesting things to look at on his side.
Yeah, so Danimal actually taking the 80% route, because I think any percent you actually do take Mickey here, because he does so much damage. So it's actually pretty good that he took Mickey here, because he's gonna get through this just that much quicker. Yeah, going immediately to Trinity to safely get this through. While Adam did a Trinity at the beginning of Twilight Thorn, is he above the health gate? No, he's below it. He's going to get second.
Below, yeah.
Yeah, he already knows it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have enough damage to put out to kill it before.
No. We'll get the cool swag neck snap kill.
Yep. Always love getting that on Twilight Thorn or Storm Rider. Killing him with the reaction command.
Yeah, so let's see, they'll both be at the same progression, points wise. I think, what is it? They'll probably both get the first hint about the same time, because Adam will get it during struggle fights, which is not that far from here, and Danimal will get it on, because I don't think you get a point on urns. We'll get it at Demix.
Adam gets it right now.
Oh, Twilight Thorn is 2 points. Oh, today I learned.
Yes, we always learn. So let's see what that hint revealed. It says that the world that never was has a skill in crossbones. It has a battlefields of war. It has a sword of the ancestor and a bone fist. We know where both of our bone fists are. There's one in LOD and then the one in world that never was. There's also a identity disc in LOD, and it looks like another skill in crossbones in 100 Acre.
Yes. So this is very interesting, because how many? Let's talk about these unlocks that have been hinted and where they're kind of sitting at. So let's start with the world that never was. So you have just skill and crossbones. You know what the second one is. I don't think we have anything in Port Royal, so it's not big right now that it's like a necessity of I gotta go push 100 Acre Woods for it. Battlefields of War, you could do it for the other one in Orange Statue, which is a very quick check since you're ready to make it into Cerberus. Right. That may be highly sought out here. What else we have? LOD. There's no objectives in LOD, but you do have the Bone Fist there, which would be nice.
Bone Fist's not rocking any objectives, but actually no, Oogie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Oogie. Yeah, but you can get one in the World of Was, and which also has the other Bone Fist. So nice set of unlocks. Probably not the greatest of what they want to see, but you at least have an idea of where they may be, because you're gonna eventually have to go to do one of these extra worlds. It's just the World of Was doesn't have your objective, so you kind of have a lot of unlocks there that you may need that Battlefields of War. You just kind of hope that it's early.
Right. Yeah, if it's something like shortly after Roxas, it's quite convenient. But on the other side, we did see Danimal picking up another Proudfang and Wisdom form in OC1.
Nice. So that unlocks a Ground Shaker for him and a couple, and actually Ground Shaker and Wisdom 3. Ooh, Explosion on OC Demix.
Always a great tool.
Yes, and he got another accessory up, so that's not bad as well too. So nice set of tools from OC. Meanwhile, Adam looks like he's getting to unlock the Will That Never Was. Probably not what he wanted, but hey, it's progression if you want to go climb tower at level 1.
Yep, and Danimal also finding another Glide and a Beast Claw, so access to Beast Castle now.
So looks like OC's just paying out just a little bit more, but from the looks of this, still Adam's still setting up an objective, which is nice. Getting actually a torn page, so that does help get that skill and crossbones that they need. Oh, and an experience boost.
Yeah, we really are just getting to the bulk of checks here in STT.
Yeah,
At Sunset Terrace and Central Station.
Yeah, so very interesting to see what's going to be in Mansion here in STT, because that's where all the good stuff's at. That's where you want to get to as fast as possible, just to know, hey, did this trip pay out?
Yep, and at this point, I think Adam is definitely gonna just push all the way through Axel 2. Just have Data Roxas sitting there for whenever he feels comfortable with doing it.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. You have Data Roxas set up right from the beginning. Do you just quick run them right then and there, or do you come back later and maybe try to do it with the limit strat or even a double neg?
Well, with the way the settings work, there can't be world unlocks on super bosses, so it's not imperative to do Data Roxas right now, and you never know what kind of tools you're going to be getting later to make the fight faster. So it's not something that's imminent that you're like, all right, I got to get this done. It's something that you have in the back of your mind when you feel you are better equipped, or you just have to at that point. That's when you go back and be like, all right, I'm going to get Data Roxas done now.
Yeah. So we'll see what Adam does and how he approaches. If he's just going to start knocking out, hey, I'm in this world, I'm going to do my objective, or I'm just going to set this up. I'll come back when I feel like I can do this a little bit faster. So I just remembered that they don't really have a Thunder. So this Hydra that Danimal is doing is going to be pretty interesting. They do have Trinity Limit, but unfortunately for them, Donald kind of died at the beginning. So they weren't able to use the Trinity Limit right from the get-go. So we'll see if Donald decides to wake up right when they knock off these heads so they can do the Trinity Limit strat, the NE plus strat, while Adam is in the bulk of STT now. Okay. STT not really paying out so much so far.
Animal now using Duck Flare. It was a fire.
Okay. Good offensive magic.
Fortunately, it's generally not the first one you want to see. Something like a Thunder or a Blizzard would be good. Yeah. Fire is a little bit more limited in its use, but can still do some good work.
And Danimal makes it through Hydra. Getting their second objective and getting an aerial dodge, so they now can move. They're going to have some movement there.
Yep, A Dodge 2, Glide 2 coming out of their first world. It's going to feel great moving forward. Interested to see where we go next.
Well, he's got a couple choices now. He does have Beast Claw, so he doesn't necessarily have to go to STT yet. Can definitely just pivot to go to Beast Castle. Or decide to probably going to level up Wisdom, actually, and just get that Wisdom 3 knocked out of the way.
Or just go into Roxas.
Just go into Roxas. Okay, never mind.
We talked about it.
Either way, good choice, because you do have DC to level up Wisdom.
Right.
So, like we were mentioning, this is not a bad play. You really don't have much. If you don't want to go to STT, then your only other choice is BC or go quick run Roxas. So this is a very good play. He's going to get his next hint. It's going to take a little bit of time, but he'll get it done out of the way so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Right.
Speaking of next hints.
Yep. Agrabah holding an ice cream. And
OC.
Yep, seeing all the stuff that Danimal already has.
Yeah, so STT done. He's going to take that torn page, go to 100 Acre Woods, see if he can get a skill and crossbones just so he can have another visit unlock. And if not, I imagine the only other place he really's got is OC. So I imagine Adam's just going to head straight to OC.
Yeah,
there we
it's
go.
probably the logical next move. And Danimal has Roxas in the quick run now.
All right, so typically the quick run, if you are optimal, which is kind of going at just like how Danimal's doing it right now, instead of going straight to the wall, you go a little bit into Roxas. You just got to kind of be careful you don't slide off. But if you go into him, it typically takes about a minute 30, about almost a minute 32 minutes to get done. It's a little risky because as you saw, you can kind of slide off if you put your camera at a little bit too much of an angle. But if you get that sweet spot, you can see his health, even though you're kind of doing it at level 1, it goes down pretty quickly.
Right, yeah, there's a few different ways you can speed up the quick run even at level 1. There's this where you quick run directly into him. If you can manage to get Roxas just barely not on the wall and get him right behind you, that can be pretty quick as well. But that one's also pretty dangerous because you have to try really hard to keep yourself exactly centered and not moving side to side while you quick run into the wall.
I've done that one too many times, and it is sketchy every single time.
Yes.
It is not a fun experience as a runner to have that position. It works. It's just, it doesn't feel very comfortable because any little wrong movement just can decide to take it for a trip. So,
and especially, oh no,
not the ground. I was about to say, I'm like, if you do a ground combo, he might retaliate. Usually the safer bet is to use an offensive magic. He really doesn't have an offensive magic. His only option was to use Trinity Limit. So he took the risk on the ground combo, did survive, which is really, really good, which is nice.
That saves quite a bit of time from what could have possibly happened.
Yeah, and got the kill. So very nice recovery. Like I said, very, very scary doing that ground combo, but able to pull it off and get through it. So, meanwhile, Adam's heading through Hades' Escape, like we mentioned before. Really doesn't have much other than OC. Knows that, hey, Wisdom and Beast Claw's here, so that's probably my progression. And just books it straight to OC.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Roxas' keys in the cutscene.
We got a little bit of the cutscene, which is very nice. Thank you, Danimal. Appreciate it. And let's see what he gets rewarded with. A Feather Charm. Good for, really, if you want to pan stun any bosses. So nothing else so far. And let's see the next couple. Here, which one is this one? LOD.
Sword of the Ancestor.
Okay. An ability chest, and let's see if he does the angle where you can kind of see over this to see what the next chest is.
Ooh, another aerial dodge.
Okay, I think he's gonna want that. Yeah, gonna want that. So he's gonna have to see. He's probably gonna have to reflect here before.
I guess no, that
plays nice. And just a junk chest.
Turns around.
Yeah, gonna probably check the Zigbar chest, and I'm probably just not deal with Zigbar right now. Level 1 Zigbar is kind of not fun to do.
Right. Level 1 Zigbar can be kind of eased, like made a little bit easier if you have something such as Final Form Berserk Charge or Berserk Hori. But with the current tools available, it's probably not the best course of action at the moment.
Yeah. Adam making use of the fire that he found in STT to whittle down Cerberus and gets the kill in.
Stats are looking okay so far. Oh, yep. There's our second Beast Claw.
All right. Thank you, Wisdom Form. Appreciate giving us the second Beast Claw. So that's Data Sultan on the floor. Or on the table now, not on the floor. You want him to be on the floor after you kill him.
Right.
But on the table now for them to be able to do. So BC 2, if you do all of 1 and 2, it's pretty relative quick trip. I'm kind of tempted to do that now, Data Zelda, depending on where everything else is.
In terms of which late objectives and worlds you can get to quickly, Data Zoldan's up there, just because of how quickly you can get through BC2.
And yeah, and if you know you have Duck Flare, we've seen obviously you have Duck Flare. If you get the other tools, you can kind of get him into a jump loop pretty easily. You just want your reaction boosts, and Data Zaldin, as long as you play it like a little bit safe, it's doable even at level 1. It just takes a while. So we'll see
a lot of the safe strats for Datas are that way. It's like it's safe, but it will take quite a while.
Yeah, so we'll see if any of them implemented here. We're most likely going to see it for Data Roxas. We'll see about Data Zaldin if he's on the table, and then Master Form. All right, so see if early BC pays out for anything else. And nothing there. Another junk chest and second chance. Nice tool. Immediately goes to put that on. Nothing, no experience. You kind of want some experience here. Would be nice.
Yep.
I imagine we're probably going to see Danimal use that Master Form here on Thresholder. Going to make it really easy. You're going to get your buff up in stats because you have the stats from the second Keyblade. But also it's going to get some master levels because this boss does drop Drive Orbs.
And with the Beast Claw already coming from drives, it's always good to level drives whenever you can, because you never know what's just sitting on that next level.
Yeah. Because they're kind of running out. Well, they can go do... Well, Danimal can go do LOD, but Adam, if he doesn't push The World That Never Was, he's kind of limited on what he can do. Because he's going to be forced to go do BC2. Hold using the Trinity strat. Okay. 1 cycle? Yeah, 1 cycle.
Very well done.
All right, so we'll see what's behind Thresholder. We're going to go all the way up to Beast. We'll see if he decides to do Darkthorn. I always forget what the Darkthorn is, the ball, right? And then Shadowstalker is the Beast. Oh, nice final form, by the way.
I thought as much, but I think it's backward, the other way around. Okay. Shadowstalker's the ball, and Darkthorn is the boss. Because in the settings, in the generator, retry Darkthorn is the setting.
Okay. So I just call them both Darkthorn because that's all I remember. I never remember Shadowstalker, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna call him Darkthorn. But DC paying out really, really nice with 2 forms, a second chance, and in the minigame here, horizontal slash and aerial sweeps all right.
It's there. It's an ability.
But with Hori Slash now and final form, you can go do Data Zaldin. Oh, not Data Zaldin. Not Data. Zigbar if you want. They both have X's. So you can go do that. But yeah, we'll see what else BC pays out and what direction these guys go afterwards. All right, so heading over to Beast Castle, and Adam's following suit as well too. Now that they're done with their OC trip,
looks like they left right before Hydra.
Kind of probably doesn't want to do it with just the fire. You kind of want that offensive magic, so I can see that. And leaving
having a thunder can just speed it up immensely.
Yeah, it speeds it up really, really nice. So I probably would have done the same thing too. I'm like, you know what? I just don't feel like trying to trug through Hydra. Let's just leave. I'll come back when I not only probably get the second Battlefields of War if I'm going to go down that route, but also I have some sort of offensive magic. Right.
And Danimal finding an ice cream in Beast's room.
So BC pays you out with final form and an ice cream. You gotta go Twilight Town.
I feel like it's just kind of a necessity. You have all those final levels just sitting right there.
Exactly. If you do it right, so here's what's going to be the interesting thing though is that Danimal only has the magnet to kind of get the kills in on the station fight before he does the hit count. While Adam, who went to STT, has that fire, so not only going to get the hit count, but get those kills pretty quickly as well too to level up final. So it'll be interesting to see how Danimal approaches this. If he's just going to go for hit count, or if he's going to try to get kills with the magnet.
Maybe if Daniel had more...
Never mind.
Oh, never mind. There's a fire. Oh.
Never mind, fire. Forget I said anything. The seed just wants to throw everything that I'm saying in my face and just say, nope, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It will immediately give you a reason to invalidate everything you just said.
I know, right? All right, so Adam got the master form. We'll see if they do the 1 cycle trick with Trinity Limit or if they decide to level up master. Like you said earlier, hopefully trying to get something off of dry forms since visit unlocks are not really paying out here.
And Danimal finding a membership card in TT Shotgun.
That's very nice. More final leveling. So now getting your final up to 5 is not a huge priority because you still have one more spot to do it in Bailey right before, the first fight in I forgot the name of that place already. Hollow Bastion.
Yep.
But getting it up pretty high because there's not that very many in the first fight, so you kind of want to still get it as high as possible.
Right.
Oh, speaking of thunder.
Well, there's the thunder.
Okay, so it seems like the seed so far is just giving us a very slow burn on...
Yes, it's listening to us, waiting to see what we want.
It's giving us a slow burn on these not the forms necessarily, but the vigilant unlocks and the magic. Mm-hmm. Most of the seeds I've seen around so far, the seed I've done myself, a couple practice seeds, like it feels like visit unlocks come hot and fast really from the beginning. This one seems a little bit more tame where it's just like, we're going to drip feed you your route a bit here until we decide, here's everything.
Right, it's giving less choice at the beginning. And I have a feeling it's going to just open up immensely at some point. And I'll see quite a bit of divergence.
So Station Fight paying out with a second magnet. So now they have Magnera, which is not bad. It's going to make things a little bit easier with final Magnera. Kind of makes things killable a little bit easier. So Danimal leaving before going to the bottom of Yensid's tower. Not bad. It's a choice. You have a decision to make here, and he's deciding, I'm going to follow the paper trail that I'm getting from these visit unlocks. Let me just go immediately. Plus, he's also got an objective on Bailey. So, deciding, I'm just going to utilize this 2 Thunders I got. The one I got from, I think they also got it in Station Fight, but also on Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And decided, Final Four or was it 3? It was one of those 2.
Yeah, it was 3. It was on Final Form.
Yeah. So, and Money Pouch. Okay, so
that's the second Money Pouch. Oh my goodness.
They got one already? Where'd they get the first one?
I think I saw one in TT. If I'm mistaken, somebody could let me know. But I thought I saw another one.
If they have both, they're rich.
Yeah.
and a Thundaga. Okay.
We are Zeus.
All right. So
yeah, it was in the woods in Twilight Town was the first Money Pouch. So they're giga rich.
Yes. So with that, you found both Money Pouches. What do you kind of send on items here? Because you have choices now. You can do all ethers. You can do elixirs. You can do a combination of them. What's your preferred method, Bob?
Mine, with 2 Money Pouches, I'm most likely for the time being going to buy somewhere in the 20 to 30 ether range and then save the rest of my money. And then when I get to a fight where if I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I want elixirs for this, then I'll grab some elixirs. If not, I'll just save the money and grab more ethers when I get close to running out of ethers.
That's a good plan. I think if it was me, since I have more knowledge than Adam does here when he's going to get his first Money Pouch. But if I was Danimal, who does go to STT, realizing, hey, I don't got much else to do, let me go to STT now. So he's going to take the trek all the way through. But for me, if I had both and I had what I had with Danimal, the 3 Thunders, the 2 Magnets, Final Form, I'm going to probably dump maybe a little bit more into ethers, probably like 40 or 50, because I'm probably going to say, you know what? I'm just going to use magic the whole way. And I'm just going to dump use ethers like they're going out of style here. So it just different play styles. So we'll see what they decide to do with their money that they have. I'm just gonna say this: seeing SCT and TT at nighttime is very, very jarring for me.
It's supposed to be Twilight. What's going on here?
Oh, and Danimal took a crash. It looks like. So we'll see him get back up and going. Luckily, he had a screen transition, so when they get back in, they can use the autosave feature, which is very, very helpful for everybody who hasn't had a crash before. The autosave feature does save it at the room transition, so as long as you hold the first person view button when you're loading up your load, it will load you into that last room transition that you went through.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very helpful.
One of the greatest quality of life additions to the randomizer.
Yes, I remember in the days where you didn't have a hard save, yeah, and you were about an hour into your seed, an hour and a half.
You were no longer
GGs.
playing that seed.
Yes, you could say GGs. So, all right, so Danimal's back up and going. Didn't take too much of a time loss here, and is able to get back going through his STT trek.
Did not crash
Meanwhile,
in the same space again, so that's good.
that is good. And meanwhile, Adam's heading straight to Hollow Bastion. So they did the same thing that they didn't do station fight, but they did get the membership card and immediately say, you know what, let me go to Hollow Bastion and get this done.
I'm a big fan, if you have access to Hollow Bastion 1 and TT1 in final form, doing Hollow Bastion 1 first to get final level 2. That way when you do station fight, you have that one extra form gauge and a little bit of a further head start on the final leveling. So you have more time in the station fight to get more nobody kills.
Yes. So just realized Adam doesn't have the Thunder yet. He's going to pick it up here. But I just now realized watching Adam go through Hollow Bastion, they actually picked up Shock Charm Plus. I didn't know if you saw that, but...
It's not truly Zeus.
Yes, one of the only armor that you would want to put on the minute you get it, because it does boost Thunder output. So Thundaga with that Shock Charm Plus, you're just going to get a little bit more damage out of your thunders that you're doing, and it's very helpful when you have low magic like we have right now. 21 still kind of low for a good amount of stuff. You want a little bit more just so you can kind of one-shot everything, so having that Shock Charm Plus is very nice.
Right. You're not as concerned about one-shotting everything with the abundance of money that we have, so you can just use ethers if you're having to use multiple magics to defeat enemies. But in safety reasons, it's much better to one-shot things.
Yes. So Adam does their Bailey objective, gets that done and out of the way. And taking what you said, going straight back to Twilight Town, get that little extra drive gauge for a station fight, and it's going to do some station fight here.
With the Fyra instead of the fire that Danimal had, and the extra form gauge, looking more likely that Adam will be able to get final form to 5.
Now, on Danimal's side, though, he has Thundaga, so he may be able to one-cycle Twilight Thorn here. So doing the Trinity right from the beginning, which is fine. You're just going to have to put a pump into your Thundagas here when you get the reaction done.
Yep.
All right, we'll see if Adam gets to Final 5, which is very important. Yep, there we go. Gets that prog point and gets the early hint that actually reveals Twilight Town. What do we have in Twilight Town, Bob?
We have, looks like, a Sword of the Ancestor, an Identity Disc, and Valor Form, and a Torn Page.
Not bad. Still don't think any of that really helps for your objectives. Actually, no, the Identity Disc does.
And the Identity Disc, yes.
Yes. So if Adam pushes a little bit more, he's going to get his LOD and has LOD access that way, rather than going throughout that Danimal went through, which was going to the world that never was.
Right. And the Valor Form is also, being in TT is good, because Valor Form level 5 is an objective.
I always forget those form objectives. They don't pop up very frequently for me when I've done these seeds, so I forget that drive forms, even though we do have one. I already called one out earlier. I just forget that multiple could pop up here.
Right.
So, Adam getting all his thunders, saying, I'm going straight back to go do Hydra now, because I have a tool that is just going to make this that much quicker.
Yep. Many thunders, making short work, getting the master form levels here as well.
So, gonna try to get, I think you can get to 3.5. I don't know if you can get to 4. I was watching somebody earlier. They didn't have a jackpot or anything like that, so they only got to like 3.5. So they'll probably get to the same route. If they can get to 4, that would be very nice.
There's level 3, finding a blizzard.
Probably is gonna get to level 4 actually now, considering it.
Especially if they can get the orbs from the... maybe not.
They don't have enough drive anymore.
Yeah.
So they will stay at 3, but they did get a blizzard off of it, so that's very, very nice.
Mm-hmm. And they will get a drive gauge reset after finishing this first visit here, so they don't have to worry about that.
All right, so Hydra done. Meanwhile, Danimal's heading through Axel 1 and the rest of their struggle fights. We'll see where Adam goes after this. He has a couple of the options now of where he wants to go. Continue BC, go to Pride Lands to go do ground shaker, go back to TT. Opting to not listen to me at all.
Right.
All right, so gonna go probably quick run Roxas, get that done and over with. Gonna get their LOD access, and we'll see if they decide to push into the world that never was a little bit more, or just decide, you know what, the LOD objective, or not LOD objective, but the LOD unlock is good enough for me. Let's just go do that.
Yep, there's a Bone Fist there. There's an Identity Disc there. That is, those are 2 objectives that are being held right there.
Exactly.
Well, potentially 3, because if you also need both Identity Discs for MCP.
Yeah, so we still don't know where exactly the rest of the items in Twilight Town is. Both of them kind of did a pseudo tower defense, as we like to call it, and didn't climb Yensid Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just totally phased me. Adam is not doing the quick run. Is actually just using thunders and reflex.
Yep, and explosion.
And explosion, yes. All right, so a little bit faster doing it this route, just also a little bit scarier.
Right. Adam is far braver than I. I would absolutely be quick running right now.
Yes, I would probably be as well too. I may make one attempt like this if you can get into a loop like this, because explosion thunders are going to give you, and you have Trinity as a safety net as well too.
And second chance is very helpful.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Very smart not to land there, because landing there, you can it's damage right there. And with him sitting at 1 HP already, he was gonna kind of take a death there.
Oh, the Beyblade.
Beyblades. Everybody loves Beyblades. Let it rip.
That attack is so annoying.
It is. And you never want to see it, and when you do see it, you want to run as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll see Adam probably go back at it again. Yeah, gonna go back to the same loop. With the Thunder Explosion loop, it's pretty consistent if you kind of time it right to always get him to react a certain way. It's just when you start building that RV up really, really fast, you have to figure out how you're going to manage it. But it looks like wanted to at least get some damage off, get it to like the HP gate, and then just going to quick run.
It looks like they're calling the audible, going for the safe strat, and it looks like Danimal crashed again.
Well, we saw last time he was able to get it up pretty quickly here. And we'll see him load back in and continue his trek, because I think he just finished struggle fights and was kind of heading to Mansion. If I remember last time he went through... Yeah, because he got the Torn Page, which was in Sunset Terrace. Right.
And that's actually, I believe, the same location that... well, not quite the same location, because Danimal crashed before going from Woods to the Mansion, but it looks like this time it was from Sandlot into Tram Common.
All right, so he's going to get his fire, going to finish up STT, and then we'll see where he decides to go from there. Meanwhile, Adam is doing the quick run as well, too. Just make sure when you do quick run, don't be like me and forget to not take off dodge roll. It becomes very, very weird to try to do a quick run with dodge roll on.
Mm-hmm. You have to hold the square button every time that you press it, and you have to hold it for a brief amount of time, but just long enough so that you don't dodge roll.
Safe to say that I forgot that one time, and I did it, and I took a couple deaths. Because I just forgot every single time. I forgot to take it off.
Yep.
Good times.
Also, if you have guard equipped, don't forget to hold forward, because you will just guard in place.
Guard in place. Don't we love that? Yes. So, Adam getting through their fight using their final 5 because they actually have a faster glide in final form, and being very smart about their movement, saying, hey, I'm just going to go to final form and use that movement to get around.
Yeah, movement tech like this is always great to see, especially in places where you're not concerned about potentially losing your drive gauge and having to hope you have a drive recovery.
Yeah, so Adam no longer going to get movement diff, so to speak. Aerial dodge doesn't do much to add much movement, but it gives you that nice little boost right before like your glide. So it does help over time. So he's kind of minimized that going straight here.
Also able to kill these dragoons, trying to get a few more levels.
Smart. He's now hit that level 20, which is very nice because now they're going to get 2 stat upgrades for every level to get. So, like we mentioned earlier, you kind of want to hit that mark so you can start getting your stats up very, very quickly. All right, and Danimal finishing up STT while Adam heads into LOD. We'll see if Danimal follows suit and goes to LOD because I don't know what else they have open to them.
They could continue on in BC.
You can do mini push.
They could maybe do Zigbar.
A little
could
bit of
do
Pride
Scar
Lands.
if you wish.
Yeah.
Could go all the way to Ground Shaker.
Yeah, it's not bad. You just don't have the strength for it, but you could do it.
Right. It's sketchy, but it's there.
Yes. All right. So Danimal looks like he's gearing up to getting all his tools. It hasn't gone into a menu, so probably getting that all set, making sure that they have everything good for a while because you really don't want to jump into your menu unless you have a lot of things to either menu or you got a really, really good item, ability, or accessory.
Right, it's always good to know what you're going into your menu for as well, so you can get in, do what you need to do, and get out. I will be back in about 45 seconds.
All right, so Adam utilizing that Thundaga, getting a big area of effect magic, as well as Magnera, as well too, to kill these mobs very quickly in these mission fights. And playing everybody's favorite mission 3 with the shadows that like to go underground. Oh, so Danimal was actually gearing up because he's just saying, you know what? Let me get this Data Roxas objective out of the way. So Danimal heading to Data Roxas. Most likely going to quick run Data Roxas. So Data Roxas is just going to work a little bit different. The reaction for stealing the Keyblades is quicker. Still the same amount. You have to wait the 3 or 4 of these dashes towards you before you can do the reaction. You do have to steal the Keyblades a lot quicker. But once you steal them, Roxas does an auto attack right after with Light Beam. So it's handling all these right from the get-go to try to get into quick run. That's just a little scary. So here we go. Doing the pause buffer to make sure that you get it. Going to go into Trinity Limit to be able to get by the light beams.
It's actually incredibly smart. I've never even considered that.
Yes, Trinity Limit. I forgot that they do have did not get through to push them on the other side.
Wrong way.
And yeah, gonna get the keyblades stolen right back. Trinity is nice. It is very good to get through those lasers. It's just very scary because you go through Roxas and you end up on the other side of him.
Right.
So, Danimal's going to steal the Keyblades again and try this a second time. Doesn't have the magic, though, to get Trinity off, so he's going to have to do this a little bit different.
Also,
Yeah,
had
quick
1
running.
HP, so second chance was not active.
And quick running through that, it doesn't necessarily work. So, Danimal going to make another attempt, got the magic, has the knowledge of how he wants to approach this. We'll see if he's able to get it done. And meanwhile, Adam's heading through LOD. Hasn't found either that Bone Fist or Identity Disc or ID Disc yet. Which is kind of scary.
Yes.
Not going to lie.
Absolutely.
Because if both of these are, he's leaving and saying, you know what, they're not here. I'm not going to do Minute Fight. So you kind of got to go back to TT, because you need something, and this is your easiest, quickest spot to get stuff.
Valorporn's here, the other Sword of the Ancestors here. That'll get you throne room access, make it more appealing to do Minute Fight and Shan Yu. And Danimal does get Roxas in the quick run. And as we talked about before, Roxas behind him.
This is that spot that's, yes, it is nice, but very, very scary because you kind of want to be that invisible wall. You kind of want to be in the GM. I can't even say the word. You want to be in the spot that has like the corner, so you kind of don't move left or right that much. But you turn. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I know what he planned on doing, and it didn't quite work. So what he was attempting to do was to fix the quick run. So what he was trying to do, so what he was trying to do was he was trying to use Trinity Limit to go through Roxas like he did in the air, but it didn't let him go through. So he only hit his back, and he had to do it again to try to go through again, and it just didn't work. So he lost his spot for the quick run.
Yeah, and that spot unfortunately, Roxas was slightly too far away from the wall, making it even. It's pretty slow when he's that far away from him. You can keep him in it, but it's not as fast as if he's closer to you, behind you.
Yeah. So Adam's done with TT1. We did. Actually, I did skip over this. I didn't even see it. We did get the next set of hints after Twilight Town got revealed. Levels got hinted, which has absolutely nothing.
Yep. And SCT got hinted, which it's done.
It is done. So, with not much left, Adam's saying, you know what? Now's the time. I have to get these visit unlocks. I have nowhere else to go. Let me push the world that never was. Because LOD2 is locked behind TT2. SP in general is locked behind either TT2 and further or LOD2. So you kind of have a chain there. Your Valor form is locked somewhere behind Twilight Town 2, and your turn page that this seed, you really don't have much other than to go do Scar, go do BC2, go do the world that never was. You don't really have other choices left.
Yeah, at this point you kind of need a scimitar or a skill and crossbones to move forward, because those ice creams are pretty important.
Well, and unfortunately, to get a scimitar, one of them is in PR, so you still need a skill and crossbones. We just don't know where the other one is, and it's just so how it's kind of scary when you get into this position of what do I have left. You have to just decide, well, am I just going to go push the hard content, go do the world that never was at level 1? I have tools. I'll play it safe. I'll do this strat to get through it. Or do you continue through worlds that are a little bit easier but just may not pay out?
I think with the tools that Adam has right now, definitely making a great play with Berserk Quarry, especially going through Zigbar. There's also a bunch of nobodies in the room right after this that you can use for leveling, especially with Final Form and Fyra. So this is a very wise decision, I believe. And also with the skill and crossbones being here, obviously opening up further access to the seed.
But here's the other thing too. The World that Never Was is going to give you a lot of prog points. So you're going to get your hints very, very quickly here because they're just at one more set of hints away. They just got the next two, which tells them about Disney Castle in BC. Which you want to tell us? Does it reveal anything to us at all?
Not much.
So we're back at, well, Beast Castle's not the play to go unlocks.
Mhm.
So really, you either go finish LOD 1 or you do the World that Never Was. Kind of your only options here. Well, actually, neither of them did mini push. So that tour page could be on mini push.
It could
that
just be right
logically gives them the chain that they need
to get the Scale and Crossbones that is in 100 Acre.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see if when one of them does the mini push, if the whole unlock of chains was just pushing the mouse.
Yep. It is quite interesting to see that neither of them did push the mouse, considering it is a prog point, and it's just kind of right there. Although with this board of objectives, you don't have any objectives in Timeless River, so they might just be trying to save time that way.
Yeah. So we see Danimal attempting to still get Data Roxas in. Data Roxas just not playing nice with what Danimal wants to try to set up. So it's taking a little bit of time. We did see like I said, he can do the quick run. He's got it set up. It's just he wanted a little bit better one. And you take those risks when you do these. Like, hey, I got to save time. I need to do this quicker. You take the risk to kind of audible on the fly, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it just kind of doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, Danimal trying to steal the Keyblades once again. Gonna cure just to make sure that he can get the second chance proc. Meanwhile, Adam doing Luxord here. Gonna try to... You can... Oh, bonking on the wall. The long Keyblade. Was gonna attempt to, because you can kind of get him into a certain loop where he does his mini game. You can kind of manipulate that a bit. You can do it with the magnet or you can do it with air combos. It doesn't always work, but it's very nice when you do, because then you can just loop him that way and he never does his little like go into ground, become a card, that's whole situation.
Right. Meanwhile, Danimal having a much better position this time for the quick run.
Yes, much better. Probably not the most optimal, but I imagine at this point he's like going to say, you know what? I got him in a quick run.
It's ticking down pretty fast.
Yeah. Probably going to say, hey, I got him in a quick run. Let me just take this. I will use Trinity Limit at the end. Because as we saw on Adam's side, when you do regular Roxas, was it Adam's side? No, it was Danimal who did it. He did the ground combo and Roxas reacted very quickly to it. After
when
a certain
Adam
amount of
did
hits.
Roxas, Adam used Trinity Limit to finish.
Yeah. Data Roxas does not like any ground combos like that
not
at all. His RV window, like to hit the RV, is very, very small. So
especially when you're in limit form too, because normally when you're doing like R's loops in limit form, you like to either maybe get a Zantetsuken out against a lot of bosses, or even just 2 attacks. But with Roxas, you just got to do 1, because if you do more than that, he will attack you back.
Yeah, so probably going to use a magic, or the safe bet will probably be Trinity Limit.
Yeah, with the Trinity Limit, you can stop the quick run slightly earlier than just 1 magic.
So Adam's making this climb up the World that Never Was and still hasn't found anything.
Still nothing.
This is starting to look like mini push unlocks everything.
Well, he does have 2 Way to the Dawn, so he will be able to get all the way through Zemnis, so he will find whatever world unlocks are here. Okay,
so he will be saved. It's just, missed the RC, which is not bad. Regular Syax is easily being able to recover. If it was Data Syax, that would have been a little bit more scarier, but regular Syax, you just gotta wait for him to toss another one of his Berserker swords to get him out of his Berserk Sage. All right, probably, going to revive them to go into final fire. Very nice. Chunks the health pretty quickly, even at not optimal
41
stats.
magic in, so they are above the floor. Not quite at the ceiling, but...
Yeah. deciding, you know what, I am going to take this DM. It's not going to be too bad. Oh, commentator's curse.
Yep.
The commentator's curse. All right, and meanwhile, Danimal's almost done, down to the last 3 bars.
Mm-hmm.
So, gonna get this objective out of the way.
It'd be quite relieving to be able to go forward with the rest of the seed, being like, all right, I never have to go back to do that. It's already done. Don't have to think about it anymore.
And at this stage, it's actually probably going to be very relieving as well too, because like we've been mentioning, you're not really having access to all your other objectives. That you just kind of want to get the ones that you have out of the way. Like, hey, I have Data Roxas, let me just do it, because you know what? If I down the road, all my other objectives come open, whatever's the quickest one, I'm going to go do, and then just go finish.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, you want your choices for the objectives to be limited as much as you can. You want to, like, once you find the unlocks for the ones you have, it's better to just push them if they're not super far out of the way.
All right, so does the Trinity limit, Data Roxas is done, claps all around, and Danimal can now have a sigh of relief, not have to worry about Data Roxas anymore, and can go have fun with the rest of the seed.
Yes. He is
quote-unquote fun. All right, so deciding what they're going to go do, and says, you know what, LODs, I'm going to take it nice and easy now. Let me just go to LOD.
Adam doing a nice job using Duck Flare to finish off Snipes. Nothing on the pop-up. And we'll find out here in the cutscene.
All right, so if nothing pops up here, out of the next 4 chests, are 3 of the 4 going to have all these unlocks? Or are they just going to be sitting on Data Zemnis?
Unlocks cannot be on Super Bosses.
On regular Zemnis.
On Zemnis 1, yes. All 3 will be on Zemnis 1 if they're not in the chest.
That would be great. What a seed if that happened. Whoever gen the seed, if that happens, hats off to you. Because that would be great.
Yeah, the greatest occurrence of that for me, I had a seed where it was actually in beginner boot camp where Hades had 3 checks and OC2 had 4 checks, and there were only 4 checks in OC2. It was great.
That's just wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's. We'll see though. We'll see if this is a fun seed like that.
Yes.
Because that makes it that you had to go to SCT to even start unlocking the rest of your game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still curious as when I want to see this mini push just to see if the torn page is there.
The torn page is just sitting there, and then that Skull and Crossbones is just right there at that page.
Oh, okay. Zemnis is not going to have all 3.
Okay.
All right, so there's one Bone Fist. That's an ability.
Dodge Slash.
Okay.
There's another one.
And
the
last one.
There it is.
Oh, Zemnis has the last one. Zemnis has the one that you want, which is Battlefields of War.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a gut punch. You make this trek all the way up the world it never was just to say, hey, it's on the final boss.
Right. Well, you do also want the Skill and Crossbones, because that will get you aggro access, and in turn get you eventually TT3 access, which is holding your Valor form and potentially access to whatever's in LOD.
Yeah, so Adam's marking off what he has available now. So as we can see, he has the 2 data fights. He has Oogie now. He has the orange statue check right before Hades. And he has Ground Shaker 2. So has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 objectives. So still is missing 3 more. So you kind of, like you said, you want this scimitar so you can go do Twin Lords. You also want the ice cream so you can go get your Space Paranoids and potentially SP2
and Valor form.
And Valor form. So you kind of have a beeline of where you're going now, because I imagine he's either going to do his objectives or just immediately going to go to PR and say, let me get the rest of my objectives available.
Yep. Yeah, the likely path forward here would be
try to do building skip and just miss the upper slash jump. All right. So Danimal's gonna go through their cave fight, and we'll see if they actually decide to do the minute fight that Adam decided. You know what? I'm not gonna spend the time in the minute fight. All right. So
Adam finishing off. There's the battlefields. Nice fire finish.
Fire Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you just do Trinity limit, it won't kill because you have to go through the whole combo. So you do the fire and then you go into Trinity because the fire, as you get close to him, will just kill him.
Yes. Because Trinity won't just kill itself because you have to actually hit the last hit of the attack.
Yeah. So looks like that since Adam has some of the unlocks, now has stats because they decided to do a little leveling as they made their way up to the Wilderness was. It's just going to start knocking out some objectives.
Mm-hmm. And Animal does go into the minute fight.
All right, so we'll see if this Bone Fist or ID disc is either on Shan Yu or if they're both in LOD2, which is most likely Throne Room. Actually, it is in Throne Room if it's in LOD2 because those are the only places that you can check besides Storm Rider.
Yeah, well, yeah, it would be Throne Room or Storm Rider.
Yeah, I always think that Riku is a check. I always think that, and he's not. I always forget that. Wait, sorry, it's not Riku. It's the mysterious man in the hood that uses Riku's Keyblade.
Correct.
Sorry.
Man. Yes.
The hooded unknown figure.
Who we believe to be part of Organization 13.
Yes. The lore.
Because everyone with that hoodie is in Organization 13, including Mickey.
Yes. Man, the wild lore when you first played this game.
Mm-hmm. I recently played through and watched all the cutscenes, and it is a trip.
I remember the first time playing it when I was younger. I was like, man, I have no idea what's going on. To this day, I still kind of like vaguely know, but yeah.
Right. I only know because I've watched videos explaining the lore on YouTube.
I attempted, but I still get confused.
I played KH2 before playing KH1 as a child.
Ah, perfect. As intended. All right. So Adam gets their objective and goes to do Hades. Not bad. I guess looking for anything else that's left.
Well, they already have all of it.
They have the full prog points, so gonna finish off Hades. Am I missing an objective? No, I'm not missing an objective. I guess just doesn't like Hades. Yeah. Fair choice. Nobody likes Hades. So let's just knock him out. So, Adam's doing Hades right now.
Gonna get that. He is now realizing he doesn't need to be here and is trying to take it
out. He probably mistook one of the data fights.
Yeah, for maybe Zexion. Yep.
For Zexion. Okay, makes sense. And Hades, the one time you want Hades to attack, he just stops.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So I think I think I got into Adam's head here, and he's probably like, "Wait, I'm feeling the commentators talk to me about what I'm doing." It still would have been fine if he did Hades. Nobody, like I said, nobody likes Hades. Everybody doesn't like Hades' escape.
He's a jerk.
Knock the guy around.
He's mean to Sora all the time.
Exactly.
He basically pretends he doesn't exist.
True. So Danimal's doing Shan Yu now, made it through the minute fight doing Shan Yu. We're going to see if we see one of these two visit unlocks pop up here.
Yes.
Nice use of final form on Shan Yu. Lots of damage, very quick. It's just not very fun when he jumps up like that.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Nothing
yet.
So far. So was progression the world that never was? Oh nope, there's ID disc. Okay.
That is exit files to program. And screens.
So ID disc leads you to the only thing that's an SP, which actually, like now that we mention it, everything got hinted now, which we now know Drive Forms has a scimitar. We know SP only has limit form, so does that mean limit form is an SP1, which then allows you to get scimitar off of drives, which then lets you get skill and crossbones that way?
We can only hope.
Either way, both of the chains of trying to get a skill and crossbones is a nasty skill and crossbones route.
Oh, nice glide.
Oh, and Adam found a third glide somewhere else as well too. So we know where all the glides are. All right.
Nothing of note in the SP shotgun.
Yes. So we'll see where this limit form is. Nice membership card. It's right there in Santa's shop. Glide in Holiday Woods. Okay, it was on the woods to Christmas Town. The door to Christmas Town.
Here it is.
All right. Every time I come to Halloween Town, I get to that door and I always say the same thing. And if I'm in a voice call with other people racing, I have to hold myself back from saying that.
Same. There's a few lines in the game where it's the first line of the cutscene and you kind of get the beginning of it, like that one, and in PR Town Fight with Elizabeth Swan, be like, "Where are you taking me?" It's so hard for me not to say it.
We play this game too much.
Yes.
So Danimal is setting up to put it on a negative combo to do some leveling here in SP. Mm-hmm. And then Adam's doing Prison Keeper, just going to keep trucking through, trying to get their objective done for Oogie.
Yep.
Probably hoping, I don't know if they're going to hope for that torn page, but I don't think they need the torn page anymore, right? They just need to go to, they just are doing objectives because, like we said, they're just going to, oh no, they may need it in case they need to get the scimitar in PR2.
And the ice cream.
Yeah, and the ice cream. So they still kind of want to see the torn page. They're probably not too worried about it. Ooh, Danimal taking a little bit too much damage too quickly. Did get the second chance range, but then just got quickly hit right after.
The screens can be very dangerous.
Yes.
Which makes having Stitch for this it's the best feeling when you have Stitch for screens and you can just... he'll deflect attacks for you and restore your magic.
Yes, you can just turn your brain off a little bit and just hope that he gives you magic back and you just decide to do what you need to do, which is either thunders, magnets, explosions, whatever it may be.
Right.
Ooh, Danimal taking another death here. Going to reset up their screens.
Not to experience boost this time for safety.
That or
get into range in the fight.
Yeah,
actually.
I think it's a little bit easier to get into range on the actual screens portion, because then you could set it up and get into a good position. Where if you set it up before, it's nice. You just run the risk of if you do get sniped like he did very early, it's not a very fun experience afterwards.
Right.
But yeah, he's setting it up now, deciding, you know what, I have the position I want. I got my screens that I want done. Let me get into the experience boost so I can go into my nice little corner and just start killing these little striders.
There we go.
They're called striders, right?
I think it's strafers.
Strafers, that's what it is. I knew it was an ST.
Yes. Not STT, just ST.
Yes, just ST. Okay, so Oogie's done. Adam got the objective.
And it was
nice and got the torn page. All right, goes to Hollow Bastion. Probably just wanted to check, hey, what's here? What abilities are here? Is there any magics? If I come across this Royal Summons, then that means I'm at least guaranteed the torn page. Not a bad choice. You just want to finish out your tool set. Yes, and Sephi. I totally forget Sephi's on the board.
Mm-hmm. But Sephi is an interesting objective, especially because of how deep he is in Hollow Bastion. You have to do quite a bit. You gotta get all the way through 1,000 Heartless.
I think in Adam's mind here, it's what we were talking about earlier, what I brought up, that potentially those visit unlocks in PR can be in PR2 that if you're not going to get them, do you want to push PR to try to get them and it does not happen when I can safely and securely push an objective that I know I will get?
Right.
So these are kind of the decisions you have to make on the fly, and you have to commit to your choice that you're going to do.
Right. There's a lot of times where you say to yourself, this will save me time if. And that if is kind of big.
Yes. That if always stays in my brain every single time I'm playing these settings. What if I do this? What if I do that?
Right.
And sometimes you just have to say, well, I am going to go do that.
And there's the limit form in SP.
Yeah, so from the looks of this, that probably is behind the scenes. If we're thinking this logic-based whatnot, potentially the route the seed wanted you to go to kind of unlock everything.
Right.
So then that may mean that if that gives you scimitar, that probably is going to give you TT2 access. Is what it would give you.
Well, if it could also be, you're guaranteed to have scimitar beyond the first 6 levels of one of the forms if the ice cream is in Agrabah 2 and the other scimitar is accessible early in PR.
Yeah. So you can think of this as like logic based, or you can do it like how every runner does it. You know what? I just hope I get it.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
You can try to think of logic, but when you're doing these things on the fly and you're going through all your objectives, trying to route everything, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to go push buttons and go towards my objectives. I'm not going to...
Brain hurts, play game.
Exactly. So, Danimal's going to get their hostile program. I almost said Hollow Bastion objective. A hostile program objective out of the way. Excuse me. Yes. And Adam's saying, you know what? Yes, I am going to check all the stuff in Hollow Bastion. Went to Ansem Study. Let me go to PR now. There is the visit unlock. Which one is it? Right, ice cream.
It is the ice cream.
Second one right here?
Nope.
Oh, it's not behind it. Okay.
Auto Valor.
Dodge.
Ooh,
and
Auto Valor
okay.
Is
good. Now you don't have to go to TT2.
Right.
Or TT3.
Yes, depending if the... Because the identity disc, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he does have Sephi, so he can sack MCP, he can sack Pooh, and he can sack Twin Lords. He can do the other... Oh, no, he still needs identity disc. What am I talking about?
Yep.
You are right. Listen, this is why I just play the game, and I don't think. So, yes, he still has to get one of them. Whether it be a scimitar or he gets the SP unlock, and then he's in go mode. Danimal, in the meantime, heading back to Twilight Town, going to finish this up, realize themselves that you have to get that ice cream.
Pretty important.
So, if you got that limit form, would you immediately go level it up?
Not immediately. There's several fights where you can get the first few levels. Those are generally the easiest ones to just get by playing the game. But then once you get limit to like level 3, then you maybe consider just hopping into STT real quick and getting them out of the way, because the scimitar could just be sitting right there.
I know, I forget, watching a seed the other day where we needed to unlock off of a form, and it was just like on Master 2 or something like that. Like you get like one drive orb, you unlock it, and you're like, oh, there's the rest of my seed. There so you kind of hope for those occurrences. It's just it's not fun when you have to start doing drive roulette. Right. You're getting to limit 3, you're getting to limit 4, and you're like, okay, I'm only having like 2 more checks here.
Where's it coming from?
Yes. All right, so Adam going through all their abilities. Been a while since they checked it, as you can tell here. So just going through, saying, what do I need to put on? This may or may not be my last set of menus, because they have a pretty good set of tools, pretty good set of stats. They may not need to touch it anymore.
Did put on the Auto Valor, looking to level it here in the minute fight. It's a great spot, because the hits count even when the pirates are invincible. Although their defense is quite high for this fight, so it's taking them a little while to get into range.
So, if you're Adam, you get Valor 5, right? Then you say, okay, I got Sephi available. Let me go do all the rest of my objectives. Do you think that he realizes that now after this, and he still pushes PR, does he realize now that he has to get one more objective? So that means he has to get either the Pages, ID disc, or Scimitar?
I think that may be why he's continuing on here, is he knows he needs something from here or from drives, and he can do both at the same time.
Only got 4. So Where else do you go to get Auto Valor if you're going to commit that way and not do TT3? What do you have left?
Very slowly, you could go back into DC. They have not pushed the mouse yet, but it will take quite a while for the shadows to damage you enough.
You can do that. You can do it in some of the fights in Hollow Bastion. Like, you can do it at the Dancers or the Corridors fight.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sketch, but you can do it.
Could do it in Core.
Yes, you can do it in Core. Enemies a little bit buffer, but kind of scary. Mm-hmm. And...
Yep. The creepers in the world there never was, just right at the halfway down the room.
That is probably where you go do it. I forget they pushed all the way up.
Mm-hmm. Already done Zemnis 1.
All right, so Danimal finishes up the Dark Thorn and Shadow Stalker fight, whatever order that is in. You know what? I'm still never going to remember.
Shadow Stalker, then Dark Thorn.
Yes, finishes that up and is going to go set up Data Zone.
Mm-hmm.
So, not bad. Gets rewarded with actually a fire off of that fight, too. So, Fiagra. So, it looks as though we're doing both datas this seed. Unless you want to hard pivot into avoiding those datas, it almost seems like they're kind of the best path to finishing your seed.
Yeah,
as the quickest.
Certainly, they were some of the earliest available. So generally, those are the ones that you're going to end up doing in the end, unless stuff pops up along the way. But in this seed, it hasn't really.
Yeah. All right, so Adam only has Barbosa checks left to see if this scimitar is going to show up.
Once again, Jack.
Once again, Jack. And then it's going to have to decide, probably going to go do their other objectives, which is probably go do Ground Shaker while they think about the process where they need to go. Probably go do Data Roxas. They did uncheck, actually, Data Zaldan. So I think they're just going to hard pivot away from Data Zaldan, deciding, you know what? I'm going to leave this off of the table unless I absolutely have to go do it. Which they may need to consider because they didn't find the scimitar.
Yes. They are checking 100 Acre for the pages that they do have.
Yes. So this is that we're going back to that talk about, like, in your mind when you're kind of running these seeds, if this, if that, what if I do this, what if I do that, what if I pivot this way, maybe it's here. You kind of start having those thoughts as you start getting deeper into seed, and you're kind of stuck at this part where you're like, I'm one objective away from go mode. I'm 2 objectives away from go mode. You start to consider too much.
Right.
For me, at least, I start to do that.
Yeah, at this point in the seed, this late, it starts to turn in from an if to, okay, I'm committing to this. And you just make your decision on whether or not you're going to do this difficult objective that you may not want to do with what you have, or if you're going to keep going down the side path of, okay, I know this is here, but I have to go through a chain to get it, and it will make my life easier, but it might be slower. And there's a chance that it's not slower, and that's part of the reason why you might choose to go for that route rather than the more difficult thing.
Rabbit's house has nothing.
Just a bunch of junk sitting there.
So you go do... Yeah, he's marking other things that he has available. Like, okay, I gotta put Sephi back. I gotta put Sephi on the board now. Mm-hmm. I imagine Adam probably is gonna be like, you know what? Let me go do Ground Shaker. Let me get that other torn page. Come back to 100 Acre Woods, and see if I can get the skill in Crossbones. Meanwhile, Danimal made it through all of BC and says, you know what? I'm ready. I can do Data Zaldan. Let's go for it.
Just like you did with Data Roxas, going straight in as soon as you have it available.
All right, so as we mentioned very early in the seed, Data Zaldan, yes, he's different, a little bit tougher, but Duck Flare, Magnets, you have Final Form, you have Fire, you get...
As well.
Exactly. If you can get the jumps to kind of come out, you can loop that jumps, then you will get good damage in. He's gonna try to pan. Can you pan?
Ooh, that was unfortunate. But does get the
I think.
revive from Pan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you can. Voices in my head is saying you can pan him.
No, you cannot.
Oh, you cannot. Oh, you cannot. Okay. Voices in my head. I can't I'm misinterpreting what they said. You cannot pan it.
Yeah, it was likely that Danimal used Pan for the extra life, basically, there. But unfortunately, just got immediately smacked again.
I was gonna say it's a new tech if I didn't learn it. It's good, a nice note of if I wanted to put it in my pocket. But I'm like, I don't think you can because I think he retaliates after like a certain amount of hits very quickly. Oh, nice torn pages very early.
Oh yeah.
Hyena's won.
Now, the question is, when Adam finishes Scar, does he go check the page and then come back to do ground checker, or does he just push straight through ground checker right now?
I think you go check the page. I think you already pushed it, and you're like, you know what? I'm committed to this now. I have to stick with it. Let me go check the page.
But at the same time, at this point, if you're doing Scar, you are committing to ground checker, and you may as well just go do it because you're standing in front of the portal anyway. So it's kind of a 50-50, I think.
Yeah. So we're coming back to this talk here that we talked about so long ago. Mini still may have that page.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Could just be right there.
If it's not at Kanga's house, well, you do have access to Royal Summons 2 in Hollow Bastion.
Yes.
But if that's the logical way to get that torn page, it is a very, very long chain. Because that Bone Fist was at the top of the World of Neverwest.
Yep.
Okay. Danimal's getting the jumps.
Has 9 in his back pocket.
Yep. Doesn't have Donald to do the duck flare right afterwards, but it's going to be able to get this out of the way. We're going to see if they do try to queue up the jumps with the magnet. Yeah, gets away.
Likes to go into final form.
Get a good health recovery and get Donald staying alive when they pop out of this. Kanga's house
goes back into jumps.
All right. Meanwhile, Adam didn't get anything at Kanga's house doing the minigame, and Danimal getting back to jumps with final form is going to get a little bit more damage. Yeah, going to get a little bit more damage. Probably not the most that they want, but at least they are doing the damage. I'm gonna
able to go straight into an aerial combo.
Do the magnet to stun him. You're gonna have to escape here in just a second. Yeah, smart. Gonna take a DM, which is perfectly fine.
We'll lose final form here.
Yeah. Don't want to use an ether because you kind of want to save it in case you need to use it down the road. Gonna do duck flare to make sure that Donald stays alive, but also the minute Zaldin gets out, it's gonna be able to start damaging Data Zaldin. Okay, Berserk Hori. I don't think it works with his windshield up. Nope, and goes immediately into another DM, which is fine.
Yep.
Gonna try to loop him again when he comes out. Stay in the little corner. Ooh, nice. I didn't know you could do that.
Well-timed quick run.
I'm too scared to try to do quick run strats like that.
I always just reflect. It feels
yeah, I was gonna say he's more brave than me because I would have hit that reflect button.
Get him back into more jumps. Very nice.
Okay. So Danimal does know the strat to bait out the jumps.
And we do have Adam finally pushing the mouse.
All right, so we're going to answer our question if pages are on mini push. Meanwhile, Danimal is trying not to commentate his car sit, doing a really good job, though, with this Data Zaldin.
Yep. Just playing safe, getting in damage when he can. We'll be able to have Donald alive again this time, get the duck flare off.
All right, and Adam's going to answer our question. Torn pages?
No torn pages. Okay.
So the route that he took, that he took to get the rest of the unlocks looks like was the logical route. That's just that's just rude.
Yep.
That is rude. Okay, so Danimal's gonna get the jumps in here. Probably gonna use Duck Flare coming out of this if he doesn't get the kill, just to safely secure. Oh, gonna get the kill.
It will be just enough.
Good job, Danimal. All right, 2 datas down. Doesn't have to worry about datas anymore. It's gonna have the only other big boss that he has on the table, when he does get the membership card, is Sephi.
Yep. Deciding where to go next now.
I think he's gonna realize that he has to go do the World of Never Was. Because logically, he doesn't have anything else other than leveling up forms.
And
well, he can still do his objectives.
Yes.
Yeah, he can do his objectives, but I think if he's looking for new content, the only things that he can do, new content that's going to unlock potential anything, leveling forms, or the World that Never Was. Because as we learned from Adam, you don't have really anything else that you can do other than once you finish LOD and you get SP, is to level your form to get your scimitar.
Yep. Danimal does have 4 forms, so you can get them all to level 6. And the last form is locked behind a scimitar.
Yes. So Adam is going to have a decision to make once they do get the ID disc. They're most likely going to push it because they have an objective on the board. But after you get that objective, they're going to have to make the decision of, do you level the forms? Or do you chase that Royal Summons to unlock the Torn Page, which is going to unlock the Skill and Crossbones, which is going to unlock your Scimitar? Like
many chains.
Yeah, you have to. You're gonna have to make a decision, and I think the safest decision, this is how I would approach it, is you level forms. You chase the form roulette, because you just hope that you can cross out the whole Torn Page run and go do it for TT3 if it's in Agrabah 1, and go do it that way.
Also, on Adam's side, Adam has not been to SP at all yet, because he is just about to get the first identity disc. Yeah. So he will have screens to level forms. He can auto Valor and get Valor up to 6 after he finds a limit form. Actually, no, the limit form is after, so he can get up to 5.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, just that. But he doesn't have to worry about committing to leveling there, because he already is level 37 and has decent stats at this point.
Yeah. So there's still a lot on the table here. As Danimal finishes up Scar, probably going to go right back in and go do Groundtaker. But there's still a lot to play here. Because this is a pretty interesting set of a chain that we have. Like, it's linear in a sense, but not linear in kind of how you want it to be.
Right. Too many lines.
Exactly. But I think the forms, either doing forms or doing Hollow Bastion for Royal Summons, is where the divergence happens.
Right. And at this point, doing Hollow Bastion for Royal Summons could be the move, because you're also moving towards Sephi if you go that way as well.
Yeah. In this case, if Adam wants to put Data Zaldin back on the board, he is in go mode. Because he has Hostile Program and he has Data Zaldin. Because he has Pseudo Valor 5 through Auto Valor.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of if Adam wants to commit to that or continue down the path of, well, if I get this early enough, I can not do data fights.
Right. He may be at the point where he's just like, okay, I just need a scimitar and I can not do Data Zaldin.
Because Twin Lords is way easier than
right, yes.
than any of the data or super bosses. You just beat them up, they explode, they reappear, you beat them up some more, and you're good.
Yep.
All right, so Danimal's heading to go do Ground Shaker. Strength is kind of low, but if you go into Berserk, you get a little bit more strength, so you just need to get through the eye, the damaging the eye part, and that's where you kind of want your strength as high as possible. So we'll see if they decide to maneuver some of their accessories to give them more strength to make it easier.
Yep.
But if not, you can always 2-cycle it. It's perfectly fine. All right, Adam taking damage boost to do some experience boosting. So I guess they want the levels just in case, hey, I need the stats. I'm going to go do all these data fights. I want to make it as quick as possible.
Right, doesn't want to be at level 1 stats for the datas if he gets to the point where he's like, okay, I'm doing this. Does find the Berserk Charge on level 39. That's the second one, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so Danimal is switching their to give themselves more strength. Did bump it up to 30, which is really good. If I remember right, if you are in Berserk Charge, you get +2 to your strength, if I remember right.
It might be +2. I was under the impression it was +3 per Berserk Charge, but it could be +2.
Oh, that's a horrible experience boost on 46.
Oh
So you were never getting that if you were if you wanted a second experience boost, you were never getting that until you started experience boosting yourself. But yeah, if Danimal uses, it's gonna have Berserk. There we go. And we're gonna see if they are able to. It doesn't look like it's gonna be fast enough to get all the damage that they want, but it's gonna get a good chunk down.
Yes, makes the 2-cyclable quite easy.
Yeah. All right, Adam's saying, I got enough levels. Let me just leave. Gonna find their limit form and gonna make a decision after they do hostile program of which route they want to go. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm very intrigued to see which route they decide.
Right.
Because
they could just immediately when they're done go right to SDT, level up limit form, see what's on there. Could push Hollow Bastion.
Yeah.
Go the Royal
Well,
Summons.
with them getting limit form, they can do a quicker strat now on Data Roxas. They can do the limit form strat. So they may not have to. They're probably thinking, okay, now I don't have to quick run Data Roxas. Let me use this limit form strat.
Right. Although Adam does only have 7 drive gauge, so it'll only be 1 limit pop before having to build that drive back up.
Yeah. They could do the half of the limit strat, just do it until you run out, and then just end up quick running from there. It's always nice to get as much damage as possible too.
Before you start the quick run, especially.
Yeah, before you start the quick run. So that could be a option that they choose to do there as well. All right, and Danimal done with Ground Shaker. Nice and clean. All right, and then
Adam doing some limit form leveling while fighting a hostile program.
I was waiting for that limit form 2 to have Scimitar.
Well, Danimal already had limit 2, so we knew it couldn't be 2.
Okay.
It could still be limit 3, though.
I was waiting for it, though, because I unfortunately missed it on Danimal's side, but I was waiting for it. I'm like, oh, is it limit 2? All right, so Danimal is now realizing I have to do my climb, so let me go there. Adam is deciding to do, as far as we know, chasing Sephiroth.
There are also a good bit of checks that could have these Royal Summons just right after where we are right now. Having not done Corridor's fight yet, you still have all the opening checks in Core. Could also elect to do Core Skip to search for it in there.
Yeah, you have the movement now to do Core Skip. You have all the movement.
Not the quick runs. You have 1 quick run.
You have. I'm surprised. It looks like they're going to dance because it looks like they may want to say, you know what, I can cut the whole core thing out of the way. Yeah. And is that the unlock there?
I couldn't tell if it was an unlock chest or an ability chest.
I know it looked yellow, but it also looked red. So he's gonna go back. We're gonna find out. I want to say it was the unlock chest. It looked more yellow than anything else. But my eyes do deceive me most of the time. And No, it was all
a
wrong.
stat chest.
It was a stat chest.
It did not look that color from the other angle.
It did not look green. All right, so Adam's deciding, you know what? I'm going to chase and I'm going to skip core because I don't want to spend the time in core. Let me head towards the objective because if I get it on my way to the objective, I can, do Sephi. I have the stats. I can cut out either Ground Shaker. I can cut out either Data Zaldin, depending on what they do with what they find.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think at this point, you have 2 torn pages. You have one in TT3. You have one in DC. I think they are deciding to cut their loss on the torn pages.
Yes.
And which in turns means they're cutting their loss on SP2 and Agrabah. So I think they are going to do Data Zaldin.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go the torn page route, you have to do TR2. Then you have to go do Skill and Crossbones. Oh, you have to go do 100 Woods to get Skill and Crossbones. Then you have to go back to PR2 to go get Scimitar.
Yep.
Then you have to go to Agrabah 1. It's just a long chain. The chain is very long.
Right. It looks like he's just committing to the go mode that he has available to him right now.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to get Lisbon 6 off of the Final Fantasy fights here. And he could choose to also level limit in 1K.
Yes. Meanwhile, Danimal is fighting Yamayugi, playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that he believes in the heart of the cards.
The heart of the Pokemon cards.
Yes, the heart of the Pokemon cards. Alright, so Adam making the way through Final Fantasy fights. Danimal doing some nice strats on Luxord, or in his case, Yamayugi.
Yes. Nice little air combo loops.
This, I'm just thinking about this, and this seed was kind of nasty. Like, it was the route, the chain, how you had to go about this was you had to do the world that never was, a non-objective world, to go get the rest of your seed.
Right. You had to do the entirety of it, the world never was.
Exactly. You had to go do the entirety of the world to even just unlock the rest of your seed.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a great feeling because you're just like, well, I'm doing this content because I have to do the content, but I'm not getting an objective out of doing this content as well too.
Right.
All right, so gonna go stand in the corner. Gonna use their Magnera. Does have enough of the magic stat to kind of make this a little bit faster. It's still not ideal because it doesn't pull everything in. And yeah, just gonna use limit form. Yeah. And speaking of limit form, Danimal is using Commentate the curse. I was thinking it in my head. I was gonna say using a nice limit form to DM skip and get the kill on Luxord, and as soon as I look over and I start saying something.
Yep. Always how it goes. Going back into the magnet in the corner, getting some drive gauge back up, see if he elects to go back into limit form at any point. Though it does look like he has a much better spot for the magnet this time. Heartless counter just going up at a crazy rate.
Yes. So we're going to be done with 1K here. Tosses a couple Keyblades, and there we go. All right, so now we're heading back in. Yeah, you're going to go do Sephi. You're going to check these couple checks here. I wonder if he dips into core to check the first 4.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Nope.
Nope. There he goes.
Says, you know what? I know my path. I'm just going to go do the objectives now.
This means the Royal Summon is either on Peace Check or in core.
Not gonna lie, if I was Adam, I would still check the peace check. I'm curious to see. I would be curious to be like, is it just right here? I like, even if I do get it, I wouldn't pivot because I'm like, I'm already here at Sephi.
Yeah, pivoting to doing poo is quite a pivot.
Yeah, because you have to follow a long chain. Yeah, he's gonna check it just for the sanity sake of, is it right here? Did I make the right call?
It is in core.
It's in core. All right, so we're gonna see Sephi. Has plenty of tools, has plenty of stats. So has safety of Trinity Limit and a second chance. We still haven't found once more.
Not on either side.
So it's somewhere in a world that we probably will never see. It's probably just in Agrabah 1. First check.
Agrabah 1, maybe TT3, just one of the random chests there. There could be a magic or something on Sephi. That is true.
All right. So is this going to be a season where we never get AG1 available?
Potentially.
Like, we're just never going to see Agrabah. Aladdin's just going to be there, and Jasmine's just going to be trapped, and Genie Jafar is just going to rule all over Agrabah.
And we can't steal our 2 ethers from Aladdin.
I really wanted those 2 ethers.
Yep.
All right,
so Adam, very good. The Ragnarok just annihilating Sephiroth's health. Oh, unfortunate.
Got stuck in limit form and try to get out and do like a quick reflect, and Sephi's just a little bit fast, just a little bit.
Yep, and that's where not having once more hurts.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Danimal's taking care of Sayax. Still has that berserk on. So can't do the explosion, unfortunately. Yeah, gonna have to take a DM here. Ooh, nice dodge of that wave there.
Ooh. Sephi being mean.
Yeah, Sephi is not playing very nice here.
Unfortunately, with a level 1 reflect, it's not easy to get rid of the orbs once Sephi spawns them around you.
No, it's not. The other strat is to use a magnet. It's just the magnet also, if you really don't have the third magnet, is also very sketchy because it doesn't capture all of them.
My favorite strat to use if you don't have multiple reflects is Vicinity Break, if you have that.
Underrated strat of using Vicinity Break.
One of the very few moments in the game where I would use Vicinity Break.
I think Vicinity Break is also very good for LD1 early on if you don't have any kind of tools for, like, I guess, crowd control. Vicinity Break works very well.
Yep. And if for some reason you don't want to death abuse the first fight in Beast Castle, it can also get you a lot of hits really fast in there.
Okay. There is phase. Okay.
It's the explosion.
He's gonna retaliate now. Gonna reflect. Uh oh. Okay.
Ooh,
safety
nice
Trinity.
Safety.
Probably gonna pop into limit here right after this.
Yep.
Uh oh.
Oh.
I saw him like I saw when the way he was doing it. I was like, he's gonna get popped up right now. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna get popped up. All right, so Danimal's heading to the top. Gonna realizes that their Battlefields of War is here at the very, very top. So they will be able to get their Oogie objective and get their orange check objective, and then what do they have left of it? What would? They will get membership card, and then they will head to Sephi. Because they should find Auto Valor. I forget what exactly Auto Valor was once again, but they will get Auto Valor on the way.
I believe it was in HP2, if I'm remembering correctly. It might have been in Corridors.
Yeah. Alright, so seen pillars here with Sephi. Okay. Where'd he go? Oh.
Oh, Descend Heartless Angel.
Yep.
Limit pop to get the health and MP back into the Ragnarok.
Oh, double back-to-back
Wow.
RC. Unfortunate.
Sephi is just not playing nice this afternoon.
Yeah, he can just be mean. It's always great when he just does the one attack that completely counters what you're trying to do at the moment. You're just like, well, I'm just dead.
Losing track of Sephi is not something you want because trying to recover from it, like, he can float up in the air, he could disappear and appear behind you. It's just like, you lose track of him, it's just like full-on panic mode. I'm just going to toss in Reflex.
Right. Like, what if you're looking at him, it's not super difficult to predict what's going to happen. But if he's off your screen, it's very scary.
Yeah, and that's where audio cues as well really help in this fight, because he announces what moves he's doing, which lets you know, hey, I gotta retaliate this way, or I gotta look for him up in the sky. You know, it lets you know. So when I do this fight, I literally don't talk, I don't listen to anything else. I just put on the game noise and just listen to what he says. Meanwhile, Danimal is
ready to get him out.
Yep. And Danimal's finishing up their tower climb, doing the second building, it looks like. Or the first one. I missed it, whatever one it was. But going to get Xemnas done, and it's going to make their way to the rest of their objectives. All right, so this should kill.
And it does.
With a little bit of limit to spare.
And a few Ragnarok projectiles still in the air.
Yes, and Danimal's done with theirs. They got their visit unlocked, so they're going to head to do the rest of their objectives. Nice Shadow Archive there.
Yep. Thanks for holding on my magic, Sephi.
Yes. You kind of want the other way because you want your strength stat to go up, but at this point, you're just not going to get it for the data floor.
Right.
It's too far. Yeah, gonna go do Ground Shaker, and then gonna probably head to go do Data Roxas, go do Zaldin, and then auto Valor into Valor 5. Chain of events. I'm
chain of events, the seed.
Yes, I'm curious now. Like, if Adam did pivot, or if Danimal pivots here, if Danimal decides, you know what, I'm gonna go do the chain of finding where Scimitar is and all that. I just want to know how deep that chain goes. Like, I know how deep it goes, but like how deep in the worlds and how deep in the checks you have to go to get everything that you need.
Right.
Because both routes seem just very long, whether you go through all the super boss fights that we're seeing now, or we go down the route of doing everything else. Which one theoretically is faster? Auto Valor, we believe, was in Hollow Bastion 2 in Corridors.
That's where my brain thinks it was, and it would be reasonable for White Animal wouldn't have it yet.
Yeah, because Adam did go to PR2 or PR after Hollow Bastion 2, so he did use it there. So that's why we're thinking it's in Hollow Bastion 2.
Oh, PR1 Town. That's where it was.
It was on the trek to PR.
Yep.
Okay, so there is Danimal's HB2, so they now have access to Sephi. They're going to go do Prison Keeper, go do Oogie, probably head to Hollow Bastion, or just go finish up their OC objective really fast, and then follow Adam to go do Sephi. Meanwhile, Adam's following Danimal's footsteps to go do Ground Shaker, Data Roxas, and Data Zaldin.
Adam does have a good bit more strength than Danimal did here, so we'll see if he can get the one cycle.
All right, so we are All right, so Prison Keeper, Ground Shaker, Prison Keeper on the right-hand side with a little bit of dancing that's going on, and Adam doing the Berserk charge strat on Ground Shaker and just watching the
yeah.
health just chunk.
Just devoured that health bar.
And then you do the limit here. You do a couple of the RCs for High Fang to get up. You want to lock on to the top one, and you just slowly hit the triangle button until you make it all the way to the end.
And as soon as you touch it, it's over. And then we'll finish up on Prison Keeper around the same time.
Nice 2 whiteout screens. We like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yep, immediately, hey, I got Data Roxas set up. Let's go do Data Roxas.
Yep.
Gonna level up
first.
limit. Yeah. I think if I remember right, if you actually just go forward into, as you were going to Data Roxas, that room, the next room after the computer room, is actually, you can just go there to level limit.
Right, and also there are enemies in the pathway up to Data Roxas, like once you go through the door, and you stay as Roxas until you actually go into the Data Roxas fight.
So, any place in SCT once you're in Mansion is very good. As long as you have enemies, you just revert, or you limit, you do your limits, revert out, and so on. So, any place is viable. There's just preferred places for everybody. I used to always use this room as well too, because I just knew enemies were in here and I just didn't want to chance anything.
Yep.
So I would use this room.
One or two
Danimal
more
taking
for
the
limit
risk.
6.
There's limit 6.
Not there.
Not there. So it could either be on Master 5 or Valor 6 for the Scimitar.
The Scimitar doesn't necessarily have to be on any of these.
No.
Because
No, it doesn't. But
the other Scimitar could be the first one.
yeah, it just I'm just like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm so intrigued of like, where is it? Is he, as Adam wanting levels, or is he going for the Scimitar?
I think he's getting final to 6, and he's looking for the Scimitar. And there it is.
There it is.
Final 6.
Okay. So you did need the limit farm to get to final 6. So he really wanted to cut out one of the data fights.
Yes.
So he did. Now he can sack one of them, most likely Data Zaldin, because he hasn't pushed the BC.
Right. Hasn't
like,
even
that
done
far.
Darkthorn yet. He's done up to Beast.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is going to be way faster, just doing all of AG1. Even though BC is short, and BC2 is short as well too, you have to fight a Data.
Right.
So
you don't know how long the data fight is going to take you.
Exactly. As we saw, Danimal did do Data Zaldin. It did take a little bit of time, but if you got the tools, you got the strats, and you know how to do it, it's actually pretty smooth. You just got to play it safe.
Mhm.
More MP.
And if Adam also finds the ice cream in Agrippa 1, that could also mean he can drop Data Roxas as well, because TT3 will have the identity disc to then allow MCP.
Yeah, that is an option. He is right at Data Roxas, but if you absolutely still don't want to do a quick run on Roxas, you can go do SP2.
Right.
Do we want to take bets on if this ice cream is in first visit or not?
I'm going to say yes.
Do you have a preferred place?
I think it's going to be on Lords.
You're gonna be on Lords?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna take it where it's the right side chest after the Chasm of Challenges, right before
Okay.
Treasure Room.
Be able to see it on the way down.
All right, so Adam going through, seeing, hey, can I find this ice cream anywhere? Picking up some chests and some abilities and other Keyblades along the way, just in case they need some other things. And Danimal done with her OC check, probably going to immediately leave. Yep.
Mhm.
And he's going to realize, I just have HP 2. Oh.
Looks like he's going into PR, probably looking for the ice cream in the Scimitar.
Yeah. So he'll get the ice cream, which is going to be nice because he probably wants to go to TT. Well, he has to get something.
Right.
So he has to go
because he doesn't have Auto Valor yet, and this will get him Auto Valor.
Yeah. So he will get Auto Valor, and then from here he decides: do I do Auto Valor, and then do Sephi, or do I still push this and try to get Scimitar?
Right.
I forgot that I forget that we just don't have Valor, and we're doing it with Auto Valor. That I forget that we still need to get that objective.
Yep.
Because
And
Adam was
is
so
still
close.
just sitting at Valor 4. Yep.
Yeah, he was so close to getting it in PR, and I think in my head I'm like, oh, he already got it. Oh, is that it? Right side chest?
Oh, it's bright. I don't know I can't tell the color. It's so far away. I think it might be it.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I gotta stop taking bets, man. I gotta go play the lottery, right?
At this point, I mean, that was a hell of a guess out of all the checks. It's definitely that chest. Yep. There it is.
Yep, out of all the checks. Yo, I didn't commentate curse it, okay? I commentated write it.
Commentate blessed.
Commentator bless. All right, so Adam is most likely going to say, let me get this done, and then let me go get Valor so I don't have to auto Valor. Actually, no, he's going to auto Valor here.
Oh, yeah. That's a decent spot to do it, too. A lot of Heartless.
Now he's got to get rid of the shift shots because they have the reaction. There you go.
There we go.
All right, so if you're gonna get Valor 5 here, okay, you're gonna go do Data Rocks. Yeah, you're gonna go. Well, actually, you're gonna get Twin Lords, and then you decide: do I do Data Roxas or do I do MCP? I think he does Data Roxas.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, you kind of have to. I mean, I understand, just for safety's sake, not doing Roxas if you're not confident in it, but. The quick run's available, and it may be slow, but it's always double
and
neg.
he just picked up. Yeah, he just picked up the second negative double neg.
I think that's
second negative combo.
Pushes the Roxas then.
Yeah, you kind of are going to go for it. Now let's see if Danimal actually gets Valor 5 here, because if he gets Valor 5 here, that saves him a lot of time of trekking through everything.
Not sure if he will. Yeah, reverted to get the health back.
Yep. But you're going to have a little bit more Valor because he was at Valor 2.
More form gauge.
But probably is going to have to lose it here. For safety reasons. Yeah, it's going to have to stop.
Yeah, just
don't
run
want
the
to
way
get
to
shot.
make sure the minute time loss doesn't happen.
Yeah, so Adam probably still in the back of his mind said, I can go do TT3. I can go do it. But probably once he saw that double neg says, I can go double neg Data Roxas and get this done and over with. Yeah.
Find some elixirs. Looks like that's where we're going.
All right. So how does Adam approach this? Quick run, limit form with a combination of the quick run, or double neg?
I think no matter how deep in TT3 the identity disc is, Data Roxas will be faster than going through to MCP.
Interesting. Puts on double neg, but also puts on 2 combo pluses as well, too.
So that way he can use ground combos, but in the air, it's double neg.
Oh, interesting. I was trying to think in my head, I'm like, why would you put combo pluses on when you're also turning on double neg? So probably is going to do the limit strat until he runs out and then switch to double neg.
Yep.
Because you still have your 3-hit combo here with the 2 combo pluses. And then once you run out, you're not going to have the quick run. You just jump and swing. Oh. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Samurai.
I too have missed that door several times.
Yep,
Thankfully, I haven't been hit yet, but I have missed that door many times.
Yep, I have to. It's very, very hard. Like, you love Glide 4. You love Aerial Dodge 4, but it is so hard to control sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yep, I'm doing a couple bars of damage here. I think you only want to do, if you are going to do maximum damage here before you get the quick run, you want to do, I think it's 2.5. Is it? I believe it's 2.5.
I'll have to go into limit first before getting the Keyblades. Trying to get some damage in here against the Ragnarok.
Nope, he's not going to do it because he's realized, he's at the HP gate where if he went any further, he wouldn't have got the Keyblades.
Yep. There we go. Pause
Danimal
buffer,
done
gets
with
the
their
reaction.
PR1. It's going to get their... Oh, they've already got their ice cream. Realize that not going to get the scimitar and probably going to head to TT2.
Ooh, does have Magnet Burst on.
All right, Danimal's going to form roulette. It's going to look for that scimitar. And you set everything up, and then you realize I didn't take off high jump. Oh,
Yep.
I didn't take off, my magnet burst. What's the other thing I always forget? Oh, SP. If I do double neg explosion, I always forget. Don't smash the attack button, because if you have finishing pluses on, you're gonna do an extra attack.
Yep.
So it's all these little things you just don't think about taking off when you do double neg or you do certain combos or strats, because you just don't normally do them, that
Right.
you just forget.
Yeah, and then you also have to remember when you're done with it to make it so you're back to normal afterward.
I know you don't want to go into final fights with double neg on.
Right.
I haven't done it myself. I've seen somebody do it before, and it is not a fun experience, even with stats. Like, you have explosion. Like, if you have explosion, yeah, you can get through stuff pretty quickly. It's just still not ideal, and it's not fun.
Yep.
All right. So did enough damage. Gonna take the Keyblades here. Okay, gonna do Trinity Limit and probably gonna get set up for Limit Form. Yeah, gonna do ground combo. Second one, you're gonna have to do R's right into it. Pop an Ether right after. Or do the ground combo, pop an Ether, then do R's. And then you gotta do, yep. It is a very, very weird strat. Ugh.
He's very close to having Limit Form back again.
Yeah. The strat is very, very, like, particular and very, like, you have to do things a certain way in order to get it done. It's just, if you add an extra hit or you do one less hit, your whole loop is off. Like, you're just never going to get it back.
And now he has it in the double neg.
So he's going to be able to get this done. He just needs to jump, swing over and over. Meanwhile, Danimal is going down the same route that Adam did, trying to find that PR2. Trying to get PR2 to get Scimitar.
And unfortunately, we know that it is in Spooky Cave or later.
Yeah. So Danimal's going to learn that here after you do the balloons, doing the wonderful Tigger game that everybody loves so much, especially Tippy. But gonna do Kanga's house, gonna do Tigger, realize it's not there, then probably gonna do some form roulette. And Adam is done.
That is all 12 objectives for Adam.
What a seed.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
What a seed. We saw every objective except for the two. And those two are just in a weird chain to try to go get.
Yep. Adam does have access to be able to get to all of them except for Pooh now. Because we still do not know where in Core that Royal Summons is.
I do that all the time. If you are at the top of the world that never was, it is faster to go that way rather than to go through the Promise Charm room.
Yes, it is.
I always forget, though, when I go through the Promise Charm room.
I did that in my race earlier.
It feels like it's faster, because you're so used to doing it, and you're not like, you forget to realize, oh wait, I'm at the top of the world I never was. I can just go through the main door.
Yeah, it's not often that when you have Promise Charm on it and you're starting with it that you're doing all the way through Xemnas 1. So when you have done it, it's easy to forget, like, oh wait, I could have just gone there.
Yeah. Alright, so Danimal doing Kanga's house, doing the balloon minigame, and then is going to make a decision of... Actually, they're just going to go do Sephi, because they did get Valor 5. So... probably going to cut their losses and say, let me just go do Sephi. Or if he gets
TT2
final 6
has
here.
not done TT2 yet.
Yeah, if he gets final 6 here, he cuts out all of Hollow Bastion too.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Adam doing the Magnet Strats, hoping that Riku is going to give him an Ether here shortly.
Riku always gives me my Ether immediately after I throw my own.
He always gives, when he does the Ethers on my side, he always gives it to Donald. I always have Donald out, and he always gives it, because what he does is he uses Heal, which uses his MP to heal Donald, and then he uses the Ether on himself, but Donald already used Ether MP as well, so he uses his second Ether on Donald, so he has no Ethers for me.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Adam, with that 76 magic stat, is just going to
76 magic, Bundaga, Shock Charm Plus, everything is just annihilated.
Yes.
And Xemnas 1 with Fyra is going to follow there.
Yes. Fortunately for Danimal, didn't quite get that final 6, so is saying, you know what, I have to go do Hollow Bastion now.
Mm-hmm.
Is probably going to get their final 6 either through the Corridors fight or the Dancer fight.
Yep.
And then realize Scimitar was just right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of reach. Alright, so Adam finishing up with Armor Chair 2. Going through there. And Danimal still going through Corridors. Alright, so
Danimal likely just taking a peek, seeing if there's any ability chests or magic chests.
yeah.
Not really caring about anything else.
Nope, not caring about anything else, just picking up the ability checks that's on his way. Saying, hey, I'm just going to pick this up. Whether I need it or not, we'll see.
Right, because he could just be once more sitting there. We know it's not, but Danimal doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh. I have not seen
limit?
that Trinity strat.
You haven't seen the zoom?
No. That was my first time
so
seeing that.
if you have Magic Lock on, I think you have to have Magic Lock on. You have to toss a magic, which is usually a Thunder, to get the reticle on him, because it's automatically going to lock on. And then you have to do Trinity when you lock on or when you have it on him, so you immediately zoom to him.
That's fun.
It's fun to watch and all that. I haven't tried it myself, but it's one of the few uses for Magic Lock on.
Mm-hmm. Well, Danimal did, in fact, get Final 6 in the Corridors fight and is now into AG1.
And Adam is finishing up here, going to do a double reflect into Trinity, and going to need to do one more. Yeah, going to need to do one more, and that is going to be GG's to Adam.
GG's.
What a seed. What a seed.
2 hours.
2 hours, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds.
0.2.
0.26. Almost had all the twos across the board.
Yep.
But that was a seed. They both played it really well.
Yes. They both took very different routes. Both eventually linked up.
Yeah. The only difference here is Danimal did do Data Zaldin, and Adam ended up doing Sephi instead.
Mm-hmm.
So both treks you had to go down to a farther end world. One had to do BC2, the other one had to do HB2. Overall, though, nasty push that you had to go do into the world that never was to unlock the rest of your seed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so looks like Danimal's going to finish this up. In the meantime, we have the bracket to show here. So, as we mentioned at the beginning, there was some races that already happened early in the week. We had Walpy play against Punning, who Walpy took the W there. Dewey and Chemi raced. Dewey took the W there. Dragon and Quat raced. They took Dragon won. Adam and Danimal, which we just saw, we see Adam won. Cal and Square Fan, Cal took the win there. Myself and Dare raced, and I took the W there. And Bob, do you want to do your match?
Yes. Earlier today, I raced Capitan Boblo, and I won.
All right.
We have the rest of our matches as well. Coming up, we have Mega Slim and Kiko. We have Ragnoth and Abrink, Dark and Moko, Ninten and Kyo, Raiden and Taser 2, Ignited and
Shikiki Carby? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I tried.
There's a lot. I'm so sorry. Josh versus IBA, these two versus Sun Zero, and Flo versus Tippy. Those are our remaining matches. The next one we have coming up for a restream is actually Josh versus IBA this Thursday, May 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And the other one we have Tippy versus Flo on Saturday, May 10th at 4 p.m. Eastern. So two very good matches. Excited to see these matchups. So yeah, look out for that. We'll be on the restreams for that as well too. And then as for those other matches, be sure to look at the Discord for the race streams. They do post them when those other races go live. They will be out throughout the week here as we finish up with week 1 of the Swiss stages.
There will be Twitch theaters available for any of the other races that are not being restreamed here.
All right, so Bob, do you have any final words here that you want to say about anything?
GG's to both racers. Both did a very good job, doing some very difficult fights very well. And it was a joy to watch.
Yes, it is. It was very enjoyable. GG's to both racers. And be on the lookout in the upcoming weeks while we do our Swiss races. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.